Hi there, this is Craig Beck from StopDrinkingExpert.com. Welcome into today's episode, and I want to talk about using alcohol to deal with social anxiety. Because I've seen a lot of comments recently from people saying exactly that. They're saying, I want to quit drinking, it's making me miserable, but it's the only thing I've got that helps with my social anxiety. I get it, I understand. Before we get talking about that, let me just remind you, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Like, comment, and share. I will always try and reply. And if you are genuinely worried about your drinking and you want some free help, then why don't you sign up to my webinar today? And I'll even give you a copy of my best-selling book, Alcohol Lied to Me, as a free gift just for turning up. If that sounds good, go to the website, stopdrinkingexpert.com right now. So, social anxiety. Now, I know a lot of people really want to quit drinking, but the problem is, by doing so, they're going to lose an effective solution to a big problem in their life. If you feel that sort of panicky sensation, that social awkwardness, that social anxiety, you'll know how painful and distressing that can be and how much it can upset you. And what many people have found over the years is if they drink, it kind of numbs it. It goes away a little bit and they can be more social, more confident, and so on and so on. Now, that's great. So you've got a solution to a problem. Great. But as I always make the analogy, and I keep repeating it because I think it's the perfect analogy for alcohol, is using alcohol to deal with any problem in life is like going to a loan shark to deal with your debt problem. You have debt. You go to a loan shark, problem goes away. Yeah? In the short term. And that's because we're looking at that situation through a tunnel. You know, it's pure black and white. Problem, solution, gone away, great. But we're not broadly looking at the situation and saying, well, and then what happens? And the same is true of using alcohol to help you cope with social anxiety. At the moment, if you're doing that, what you're doing is you're looking at a very specific problem through a tunnel. And there's no shades of grey, it's black and white. Social anxiety is the problem, alcohol is the solution. And the way our brain is wired and the way we are as people is that we don't waste time and energy going to find new solutions when we have a perfectly working one available. And this is because of the way our subconscious mind works. Your subconscious has been watching you since the day you were born. And it has been building programs in your head to facilitate life, to do stuff automatically that you do on a regular basis. So, you know, the first time you touched a hot pan on a stove and burnt your hand and hurt yourself, that was a very valuable and very painful learning experience. And your subconscious watched it and went, whoa, we don't want to do that again. Better build something to make sure that doesn't happen. And because of that event, you are now very good at risk assessing hot stoves. You know, you don't have to consciously think it. It's a part of your programming that you don't just walk up to a pan on a stove and grab it to see if it's hot. That's the program. Now, your subconscious mind doesn't bother coming up with new ways of dealing with this situation or more creative or more elaborate ways of dealing with a hot pan on the stove. Why would it? Why would it waste time and energy when it has a perfectly good solution already stored in the databanks? So it doesn't. That's your go-to routine for hot stoves. Same with crossing the street. You don't get more and more creative every time you have to cross a busy street, do you? You just do what you always do automatically. Now, what your subconscious has noticed with your social anxieties is that every time you feel socially awkward, you drink alcohol and it kind of fixes the problem. Great. We've got a solution, don't need another one. And that's why alcohol is so devious and evil, because what it does is it traps you in a situation. It traps you because all the time that you're using alcohol to help you with your social anxiety is you're not looking for another solution. Why would you? You're not being creative. You're not giving your subconscious mind a challenge. Find me a way of dealing with this. Because you've already got a way. It's not going to waste time. So, to make this clearer for you, I just need to change the substance and change the circumstance, because alcohol has all this social proof around it, all this safety in numbers, or so it appears. And we tend to overlook some very significant side effects and consequences because we have what appears to be the safety of other people using it for the same reason. You may know many people who agree that drinking alcohol helps with social anxiety, helps you feel more confident. And because all these people say so, you have a tendency to believe that they have access to more data than you do, and that by their very number, they're endorsing and validating your belief. But we know there is no safety in numbers with alcohol. We know it. Doesn't matter if you drink on your own or 7 billion people drink. The odds of something terrible happening to you remain exactly the same. There is no safety in numbers. So imagine for me, you go to your doctor to talk about your social anxiety. And you say, doctor, I have this terrible thing. I feel miserable because of it. Is there anything you can do to help? And the doctor says, yes, we've got this new medication in. You take this tablet when you feel socially anxious and it goes away. Do you want to try it? You say, yeah. And you go away and you try this new medicine and it works. You feel socially anxious, you feel panicky and all awkward. You take it and you mellow out and you relax. Hey, brilliant. So you go back to the doctor to report your success and you say, this is fantastic, doctor. Can you tell me, are there any side effects to these medications, to these tablets? And your doctor says, well, unfortunately there are. Chances are that these tablets are going to give you cancer. Now, do you just ignore that and go, well, but I like what they do, so I'm going to ignore that? Or do you say, in that moment, do you say, I've got to find a different way, I've got to find a different solution. Give me something else, doctor, there must be something else. You may feel disappointed and sad, but I doubt you'd just go, okay, I'll keep taking them. And that's kind of what you're doing with alcohol. You're saying, yeah, it fixes this problem. I'm going to ignore the hundreds of other problems it creates because it fixes this problem. And you wouldn't do that in any other situation. We know that alcohol causes 7 fatal cancers. We know it causes immense harm to our physical health. We know it causes huge damage to our emotional well-being, to our mental health. We know it's a depressant. We know it causes low mood and instability in our moods. We know it damages careers. We know it harms our family and our relationships, and so on and so on and so on. And all those things I just mentioned, they're not, rare side effects that may happen to a few odd people. They're coming to you. If you're drinking alcohol to problematic levels, those are coming to you. They're on the way. They're in the mail. There's no avoiding them. You can't say, but I like it because it helps me with my social anxiety and I'm going to ignore the cancer, the debt, the relationships, the career, the mental health. That's insane. That's living inside the bubble of unreality that we have created in the Western world around this drug. And so what is actually happening at the moment, and I know if you do have social anxiety and you're scared to stop drinking because you're going to lose that solution that you've developed, at the moment that fear is keeping you trapped in limbo because you've got a solution that is destroying your life, but because you have that, you're not looking for any other solutions. And that will carry on for the rest of your life if you let it. If you don't do anything about this now, that will stay until the day you die. And the day you die will come a lot quicker as a result of the solution you are currently using. So I encourage you to, if you're using alcohol to deal with any problem in your life, I want you to be very clear about this. Alcohol is not helping. It is just holding you in stasis. It's holding you in a frozen moment that will never get any better. It will only ever get worse. Because while it's robbing Peter to pay Paul, it's giving you a benefit but stealing massively out the other end, and it's preventing you from fixing the problem that you're using alcohol to fix in the first place. That's getting confusing now, isn't it? So look, all I can say to you is this, is when you take the poison out of your life, when you stop drinking the attractively packaged poison, you force your subconscious mind to come up with a new solution. It won't do that while there is already one in place. There's no point. It's not going to waste time and energy doing that. When you take away the solution it currently has, your subconscious mind is amazingly powerful. It will come up with an alternative. But it can't do that until you first take action and quit drinking. Does that make sense? I hope so. So let's leave it there for now. If you have any questions, please email me, craig@craigbeck.com. Post your comments on YouTube, like and share. It always helps me spread the word and get this message out there. And like I said, if you're worried about your drinking, do something about it. The best time to have dealt with this was 10 years ago. But that's gone, so we can't talk about that. The next best time, now, right now. Not tomorrow, not in an hour, not when you've checked Facebook, now. And if you want to take action now, either sign up to come to a boot camp. I'm in Sydney, Australia in a few days' time. I'm in London, England. I'm in Chicago. I'm all over the place. Come to a boot camp and do this in one day, or sign up to the online course, or at the very least, come join me for a free quit drinking webinar at stopdrinkingexpert.com. Thank you very much. See you soon.